Time for the Just Baseball show, and time to talk about Nolan Arenado getting traded. Time to talk about the Kyle Tucker market heating up. Saw a report he could get $50 million a year from the New York Mets. We will talk about that. We will also play general manager for the Boston Red Sox, the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Milwaukee Brewers. Jack McMullen, Peter Apple, Just Baseball show on Tuesday, January 13th. Thank you for joining us this afternoon on YouTube, on X. Thank you for listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. As always, we are presented by
BetMGM. And if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code JustBaseball when signing up, and you will get up to a $1,500 new player offer on your first wager with BetMGM. All you got to do, download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code JustBaseball. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. If that bet loses, you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. And once you do, on top of the new player offer, the pro football playoffs are finally here, and BetMGM is giving you two ways to make every snap even bigger. First up, the odds boost token activated on any pro football playoffs bet. Pick hits, you're looking at an even bigger payout. Simple as that. And if you want a little extra peace of mind, grab your no sweat token, attach it to the qualifying bet, and if things don't go your way, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets. No sweat, literally. BetMGM, make it legendary. I don't know if you saw my NFL picks from yesterday. I took Aaron Rodgers over half an interception and Woody Marks touchdown. And with 3 minutes left, Woody Marks runs it in from the 12-yard line. And then on the next series, Aaron Rodgers throws the pick, and I hit both in the matter of 3 minutes. It took the entire game down to the last 3 minutes, plus 185, bang. Aaron Rodgers interception, plus 116, bang. In the matter of a series. Cinema.
That's hilarious. Cinema. Good for you.
Thank you.
I really like Woody Marks. That guy at USC, I really liked him, and he's good with the Texans as well. He is in the Southwest area. This is a bad transition. Also headed to the Southwest. Nolan Arenado. Arenado goes from the St. Louis Cardinals to the Arizona Diamondbacks. I appreciate Peter and Podcast P acknowledging that I said that it was a bad transition, because it was. I need to be better next time. I saw our friends at Cespedes Family Barbecue tweet out, because they are, what did they call themselves? Incredible losers or something like that. But I replied and said, but you're like our incredible losers. They said because of the D3 roots, they knew that it's not Jack Martinez, it's Jack Martinez. So Jack Martinez goes from Arizona to St. Louis. Nolan Arenado is an Arizona Diamondback. St. Louis is also sending 31 of the $42 million. So Arizona, for Jack Martinez, people don't even know how to say his last name, is getting 2 years at $11 million for Nolan Arenado. If I knew that Arenado was going to sign a 2-year, $11 million contract and he was a free agent right now, I'd say sign me up. Are you kidding me? I understand that he is a shell of what he was even 4 years ago, and it has been a steady but also steep decline for Nolan Arenado recently. He was a sitting duck for the entirety of last year. We were talking about him a year ago to this day, saying they got to trade him. They got to get out of that. They got to trade him. They got to get out of that. We spent an entire year doing that. Are they going to move him in spring training? Are they going to move him at the deadline? Finally, they do move him. He waives his no trade to go to the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'll be honest. I love this for Nolan. I love this for Arizona. And dude, like St. Louis, you're eating 31 of 42 to have him not play for you. That's a little crazy to me.
Is it crazy to say that I don't even mind it for St. Louis?
No, it's not. It's a lot of money to have someone not play for you.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, you get off $11 million, and every cent matters for this Cardinals front office and what they're trying to do. And Jeff Passan came out and said that they're also trying to trade away Brendan Donovan. I think this team is just trying to shed payroll wherever they can. And if they wanted the 8th round pick, it's likely a player in Martinez that Chaim Bloom saw and really wanted to bring in. Like, it seemed kind of random, right? Why did you pick him? Clearly, Chaim Bloom felt comfortable saying, yeah, we'll eat $31 million, but we want him. So if I'm a Cardinals fan right now, I'm trying to put all my trust in Chaim Bloom. And I think he deserves that, because we saw what he did with the rebuild with the Red Sox. The problem is the Red Sox shouldn't be rebuilding with the GM line like Chaim Bloom. So the relationship there got really muddy. But this is where Chaim Bloom operates, is in the margins, in a deal like this. And if I'm a Cardinals fan, I saw what he did for the Red Sox and what he's trying to do for us. It's obviously not a good day when we're taking on $31 million that we don't even get to have Arenado. So I know it's a dark day, but I would trust Heim here. I just wanted to add that in because it's all flowers for Arizona. It's easy on their side.
It's easy on their side. What I will say is this is the third example this winter of Heim Bloom paying down a player to get a better prospect return, right? He really wanted Yoiker Fajardo from Boston, got to know him well. So he pays down Wilson Contreras to go get Fajardo and Dobbins and Aida. He really wanted Brandon Clark from Boston, got to know him well. So he pays down Sonny Gray to go get Brandon Clark along with Richard Fitz. And now he may really want a Jack Martinez. So he pays down Nolan Arenado to go get a Jack Martinez. These are not incredibly flashy names. These are not top 100 prospects, but Clark was a guy that started the 25 season as well as really any pitcher in the lower levels of minor league baseball. Fajardo is a guy that a lot of people around the industry seem to really like as a sleeper prospect. And then this guy, I've never heard anything about Jack Martinez, but if Heim Bloom has faith that that guy is the guy in the Arenado return, I'm totally in on that. But it was dead weight for St. Louis. They needed to close that chapter of Cardinal baseball, and they did. Paul Goldschmidt's not on the team anymore. Nolan Arenado is not on the team anymore. Arenado has regressed in so many different ways, but Nolan Arenado is still a future Hall of Famer. I think if not first, then second ballot Hall of Famer. This guy, for his first decade of Major League Baseball, did not experience a full season where he didn't win a Gold Glove. He is who everybody wanted to imitate in the backyard when fielding ground balls. I'm not saying that wins the Arizona Diamondbacks baseball games, but that does kind of matter, and that'll sell some tickets, and that'll sell some jerseys. And oh, by the way, and someone commented that yesterday. I realized that's a crutch for me. Oh, by the way. And oh, by the way, this is an upgrade at third base compared to what Arizona would be running out on opening day in 2026. Now, they could reunite with Eugenio Suarez. That would have been an upgrade over Nolan Arenado. But we have no proof in the pudding that Jordan Lawler can handle everyday plate appearances in the major leagues. So let him continue to cook in Reno or play part-time and have Arenado play third base for you every day. This was slam dunk fit, and I love that Arizona made this happen.
Yeah, Arizona, would you bring in, or anybody listening, would you bring Nolan Arenado in for a 2-year, $11 million deal? Of course you would. Of course you would. Now, you can say whatever you want about Nolan Arenado, but you can't say he's not worth 2 years and $11 million. And Peyton, Podcast P, I'm curious if you can bring back up Arenado's Savant page for all those watching on YouTube. Thanks again to everybody watching on YouTube. The best way to support, smash the like button and subscribe. But back to it. Jack, you notice how he's still in the 40th percentile of bat speed?
Mm-hmm.
He was in the 38th percentile in 2023, and bat speed is a new metric. So what that's telling me is kind of nothing. In a weird way, it confuses me because how is the batted ball quality continued to tumble along with the OPS, but he's still swinging at the same speed that he was back in 2023 when it was a 777 OPS. So maybe the Diamondbacks are thinking to themselves, well, he's still swinging at the same speed. Maybe we can make a few tweaks, or maybe he just does it himself and bounces back in order to be a 730 OPS guy. And then his defense is still in the 81st percentile over there at third base. So if Arenado can be a 720 OPS guy, which I still believe is in there.
Sure.
I mean, that's a 2-year, $30 million player.
Right. Especially with dry air in Arizona, big ballpark, the home run totals may go down, but the double numbers may increase, and just the batting average may increase because you have more real estate in the outfield to work with for Arenado. The thing that I want to point to, this guy was an MVP candidate in 2022 when he put up a 7 F4 season, 7.2 F4 with a 150 WRC plus. In the last 3 years, 144 games at a 107 WRC plus, 152 games at a 103 WRC plus, and then 107 games this past year at an 84. WAR totals the last 3 years. He was a 2.7 win player in 2023. He was a 3.2 win player in 2024, and he was worth 0.9 F4 in 2025. What separates 2025 from 23 and 24 in terms of Nolan Arenado and the St. Louis Cardinals? And oh, by the way, Ryan McMahon has been better from a WAR perspective, but also from an OPS perspective compared to Arenado since the beginning of the 2024 season. The thing that separates 25 compared to 23 and 24 for me in the lens of Cardinal baseball and the lens of Nolan Arenado is in 2025, everybody knew the Cardinals were going nowhere. The fans stopped showing up to games, and they knew Arenado was a sitting duck, and he had already vetoed a trade to the Houston Astros. He had every right to be half mentally checked out in 2025. And I'm thinking if you lock in just a little bit more in Arizona, if you get a reinvigorated ever so slightly Nolan Arenado, why can't he get back to being a 3-win shortstop? Can happen.
I really like that take. Or 3-win third baseman.
A 3-win third baseman, yeah.
I really like that take. And I've used that in support of Mackenzie Gore with his trade stuff, right? Falling off in the second half with the Washington Nationals. And it's hard to stay locked in general in baseball over a 162 game schedule. And it's especially hard when your team stinks and they're not going anywhere and you feel like a sitting duck. So I couldn't agree with you more. Podcast P, I'm curious if you have the graphic Nolan Arenado in 77 career games at Chase Field. His numbers at Chase Field are pretty electric. Obviously, it's a lot of old Nolan Arenado, but it is good to see that in his career, he's hit really well there. In 77 career games at Chase Field, he's slashing 280, 334 with a 507 slug, 13 bombs, 25 doubles, and an 841 OPS. He's got 54 RBIs and 38 extra base hits in 77 career games at Chase Field. And Podcast B also told us in the private chat, career low in strikeout rate in 2025. So he was making more contact than ever, but it just wasn't hard. Maybe we find a reinvigorated Nolan Arenado in Arizona. And hopefully they pair him with Paul Goldschmidt, right? Bring him into platoon with Pavin Smith at first base. Let's just recreate the whole thing in Arizona.
Short platoon Goldie. That would be fun. And they would fit a little bit better than being the focal point of the Cardinal offense. So we shall see if that comes to be. Another report. I just saw Robert Murray tweet out that Kyle Tucker has an offer allegedly, and John Heyman as well. Kyle Tucker allegedly has a $50 million a year bid from the New York Mets on his services. Kyle Tucker is getting paid, folks. Big time paid. The question is it going to be over 3 years? Is it going to be over 10 years? Is it going to be a 10-year, $320 million deal? Or is it going to be a 3-year, $150 million deal with the New York Mets? I am curious. We have talked so much about Kyle Tucker this winter. He probably leads the league in terms of mentions on the Just Baseball show and every podcast around the baseball world. But Kyle Tucker is as sound and well-rounded a hitter as we have in baseball, and he happened to hit the free agent market at the perfect time. Man, 3 for 150 is hard to say no to. I feel like if you're Kyle Tucker from the New York Mets, no?
It's a shame because he deserves more.
Yeah.
He deserves an 8-year, 9-year, 10-year mega deal. We have overthought Kyle Tucker this entire offseason. And I don't mean we, because I think this podcast has been on the forefront of telling our listeners and telling everyone that will listen, Kyle Tucker, he might not be the mega superstar, but he's a superstar. I know last year he left a bad taste in the mouth with Cubs fans a little bit just because of the injury. And then when the postseason came, he didn't perform. And I know that he had some sour numbers in the postseason over his career. But this is a 5-tool player at age 27, 28 years old, right? He's a fantastic defender in right field. He has a good arm. He can hit 30 home runs. He can steal 30 bases. He doesn't strike out. He has a good eye, hits the ball the other way. Also pulls fly balls for homers. It's a great profile. And if the Mets get him on a 3-year, $150 million deal, I'm going to be the first one to say it's a great deal. It's a great deal for the Mets. I still think it's a shame because I still think that Kyle Tucker might not be a $350 million player, but 8 years, $35 million a year, I would sign him to that type of deal. This is one of the better overall players in baseball, still in his 20s. It's not often that you could get a free agent at this age. So if the Mets do sign him, it's exactly the move that Mets fans and the Mets should make. I don't know why I said Mets fans. I more mean they should be as excited for this one because they need an outfielder. They need a good defensive player out there. They need another bat like this. And you let Steve Cohen pay $50 million a year.
Right.
And you make Stearns happy because it's not a long-term deal. Like, this couldn't be a better match made in heaven for the Mets. I just think it's a shame because I think Kyle Tucker deserves an 8-9 year deal.
Yeah, and I wonder if that is out there at, $30 million annually, but he would kind of like to test the market again. Once you have closure on what the collective bargaining agreement looks like at the end of the 26th season, like I could also see, and I know he's not a Boris guy, but I could see a Boris structured contract for a Kyle Tucker where this is 3 for 150, but there are player options after each year, and he can hit the open market again.
I assume he could make $50 million this year. I think he's going to rake at Citi Field, and then he's going to enter the market after a year of making $50 million, and he can still sign a big deal. Because if he goes 30-30 and plays the full season, it doesn't get hurt, and even helps the Mets in the playoffs, he's going to sign a huge deal. A huge deal. So I don't think it's a bad option. I just think I'd give him an 8-9 year deal now. I would if I'm a team.
And we'll see. We'll see what the market does. We'll see how it materializes. But if he feels like that is his best bet, then that's really cool. And it's cool to hear the report that the Mets do have that offer on the table. We are going to get to the Playing GM series in a moment. Before that, let's whoosh. Shall we start with the Boston Red Sox? We're going to play general manager for the Boston Red Sox, who notably did not bring back Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman signed a 5-year, $175 million contract with the Chicago Cubs. There was apparently a hang-up because the Red Sox refused to include a full no-trade clause. The Cubs did include a full no-trade clause. Alex Bregman wanted to buy a house. He wants a home, I understand. He's on his third team in 3 years. But the Boston Red Sox, a year after they had Rafi Devers and Alex Bregman, do not have Rafi Devers or Alex Bregman. Their 2025 tax payroll was $248.9 million. That was seventh in baseball. They paid a $1.5 million tax bill. Their 2026 estimated tax payroll, with arbitration pretty much complete, $250.9 million. So it has gone up, but they have dropped in the overall payroll rankings from 7th highest payroll to 9th highest payroll. They have an estimated $2 million tax bill headed their way. Transactions to this point, trades, no free agents. They are the only team in Major League Baseball that has yet to sign a Major League free agent this offseason. But the trades, they acquire Sonny Gray from St. Louis for Brandon Clark and Richard Fitz. It was Sonny Gray in cash. They acquire Wilson Contreras in cash from St. Louis for Hunter Dobbins, Yoiker Fajardo, and Blake Aida. They acquire Johan Oviedo and Tyler Samaniego and Adonis Guzman for Justinson Garcia and Jesus Travieso from the Pittsburgh Pirates. And they acquired Jake Bennett from the Washington Nationals for right-hander Luis Perales. That is their offseason to this point. It's been chaotic. It has made a lot of Red Sox fans angry that they haven't been wading in the waters of big-ticket free agents. And there are a lot of good things on this page of chaos. Thank you, Podcast P. Garrett Crochet and Sonny Gray at the top of the rotation feels really good. They did hand Aroldis Chapman an extension at the end of last year. That looks really good. Roman Anthony at the top of the lineup also looks really good. Wilson Contreras in that lineup looks good. But there's a lot of bad. Who's playing second base? Is that bench any good? Is the rest of that bullpen pretty good? Who's the 5-starter? There are so many questions here as it pertains to the Boston Red Sox.
There are a lot of questions here, but it's not going to be answered by signing big-time free agents because it's clear they don't want to. Jack, I've been saying this for years now. The Red Sox do not want to operate in this bucket. And I have said this about basically every single guy that they have let go. And then in the comment section, after every single video, I get torn apart by Red Sox fans. What do you mean we're going to let go Bregman? It was a good move to let go of Devers because we're going to keep Bregman.
Yep.
Or the Sale move. Bogarts is another discussion, but it's all just been a nightmare for Red Sox fans. And I don't say this to pile on them. I say it to manage expectations for this playing GM episode. I have one free agent signing that is very impactful. We can make a couple of $1 to $3 million deals for relievers, but I don't have them signing Fromber. I don't even have them signing a Ranger Suarez. When we're upgrading the offense, I came up with what I believe to be a win-win trade for both sides, where they're taking on a little bit of money, but it's not much. The Red Sox do not want to operate in this bucket. And I just laugh because I remember the John Henry photo of him smoking the cigar and how horribly that has aged.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because Red Sox fans deserve better. I mean, this is a load of crap. The Red Sox are the third most valuable franchise in Major League Baseball. And they could still argue, well, we still have, a decently high payroll. Yeah, you do, but you could go much higher. And right now you have a high payroll, but it's not allocated that well. Yeah. Like, I think the Red Sox, even though they lost Bregman, I'm looking at the team expecting a big jump from Roman Anthony, but there are a lot of things that have to come true for them to even match what they were last year, which was a first-round exit.
Right.
To a team that then got blown out by the eventual team that got to the World Series that lost to the Dodgers. Yeah. They have a lot of work to do. A lot.
They were far off last year, and they lose some guys that were incredibly valuable to them down the stretch. Bregman was playing hurt, but I think about like a Steven Matz. Steven Matz was a very good arm for them in their bullpen at the end of the year, and now he's in Tampa, and that's a great signing for Tampa, not to spoil it. But I look at this outfield, and I'm like, okay, it's crowded, so you can trade somebody, but how do you get better on the big club? By trading one of these guys. And I feel like I have a trade in mind, but you said you do have a big ticket free agent that you want to bring in. Who is that?
Define big ticket.
You said one that isn't a $3 to $5 million reliever.
Yes. I want to bring in Gallen. I want to sign him to a similar deal to what they did with Lucas Giolito. What was that, 2 years ago? Where it was that 2-year, $38 million deal. I wrote down 2-year, $44 million deal, similar structure. It's kind of a 1+1. Let Gallen rebuild his market there. And you bring in a guy who can eat a ton of innings and just be a reliable guy. I'm not in love with that signing, but I look across the landscape of pitchers. For all those listening on audio, Podcast P just flashed a John Henry smoking a cigar, and the smoke is just a picture of Zach Gallen instead. No, I know Red Sox fans are probably going to cringe at that, but he's going to be cheaper than a Ranger or a Fromber. And I think the Red Sox have already surveyed the market. They've asked about Gore. They've asked about Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez, and the Twins don't want to trade either of them. There just aren't that many options, right? They could go after Freddie Peralta, and maybe that's the move that they end up making to bring him in. Yeah. I just think to myself, how many trades are you going to make? Where Zach Gallen, at the end of the day, it is their payroll is $26 million less than it was last year. Gallen's going to make 22 a year. I think he could actually be good for them. I've seen him dominate the Yankees plenty of times. I've seen him dominate the American League East, and you get him on kind of a prove-it deal. I think it would be a good fit, and they don't have to give up any assets because I also have them making another trade, which is giving up a pretty big asset.
Yeah, I like that. I want to revisit this graphic when we do talk about the Milwaukee Brewers, but Peyton, if you wouldn't mind just flashing the Freddie Peralta trade graphic. Our team at justbaseball.com wrote a great article kind of featuring the best packages possibly available for Freddie Peralta, and it seems like Freddie Peralta is very available. The ace of the Milwaukee Brewers could be wearing another uniform by opening day. This one caught my eye. It's Peyton Tolle and David Sandlin. David Sandlin, a very stuffy right-hander in AAA. Tolle obviously made his debut. He's one of the best left-handed pitching prospects in Major League Baseball. He's a top 40 prospect in baseball, according to Aram Layton. So this is, I feel like, the kind of package that would get it done. But I think at this point, especially seeing Bregman walk, I'm done giving away prospects. I'm done giving away guys that I feel like could be a big part of my team in 3 years, I'd prefer to just pay Gallen. And I'm in on that. So
yeah.
let's do that.
It's almost like, I mean, we're sending off pieces, and yeah, we could keep trading from our system, but Breslow, I'm not a fan of his, and I haven't been since basically the moment he started. I didn't like the time. That's for another time.
Yeah. So you had 2 for 45, right? 2 for 44.
I had 2 for 44. Yeah.
Okay. I had about a month ago 2 for 55 for Gallen. Do you want to split the difference and call it 2 for 50?
Sure. I don't know if Gallen gets that.
So this is the first time that I've ever put a higher price tag on a free agent than you.
Yeah.
And you always tell me you're $10 million shy.
I know.
So let's go 2 for 50.
Let's do 2 for 50. Sure. And Red Sox so do that. And I don't want Red Sox fans to just completely poo-poo that. I don't.
Right.
Zach Gallen would slot in, and he could give you as good of a year as he could give you a similar year to what Brian Bayo gives you this year as well. Like, I think he's
dude, a front 3 of Crochet, Gallen, Gray, and you've got Bayo, Early, Tolley, Sandoval kind of filling in the rest.
It's pretty good.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like it too.
So let's go 2 for 50 for Gallen.
Okay.
You ready for the big trade that I've got?
I have a big trade as well.
Ooh. Whose big trade should go first?
You go. I just did the Gallen one. You go.
Okay. Are you
trading? Because I know yours, and I talk about this with Arm too. Like, you guys talk about a big trade, and it's like a small minor leaguer for a 1-year guy. Because you guys don't think galaxy.
Are you trading Jarren Duran? Because I'm trading Jarren Duran.
I'm not trading Jarren Duran. I'm trading a different outfielder.
You're trading Wilyer Abreu. Yes.
Don't ruin it.
You're trading Wilyer Abreu. I will keep Wilyer Abreu because Wilyer Abreu is one of the best right fielders in Major League Baseball defensively, and he also has ample years of control. Jarren Duran is into arbitration. He's getting a little expensive. Jarren Duran has 3 ARB years remaining, including 2026, and he's making about $7.5–8 million this year. I want to send Jarren Duran to a team that would love to add him to the outfield. The Houston Astros have a surplus of infielders. A lot of people forget that Carlos Correa was acquired by the Houston Astros last year at the deadline. So Correa can play third base. Altuve is playing second. What do you do with Isaac Paredes? You need another outfielder. I want to get Jarren Duran to the Astros, and I want Paredes back along with AJ Bluebaugh, along with Zach DeZenzo. And this is where I want Podcast P to hop in as well, because Peyton is making the same face that you are making right now. You guys are both saying drastic overpay. I guarantee it.
Drastic overpay.
Make your case, and I will refute.
Can I speak first, Peter?
Sure.
I just feel like, is Jarren Duran that much better than Isaac Paredes that you need 2 other pieces? Especially since Paredes is 26 and has 1 less year of control. Yeah. Like, I think my problem with Duran, and while Duran is an awesome player, and, you know, is the fact that I think I'm going to make a weird comparison. I think his 2024 season is somewhat similar to like 2008 Nick Markakis. Sure. Where you have a guy who had 1 season where he graded out as like this 80 grade insane defender, but the years before and after he's not really grading out as well. And I know Duran was thrown around different outfield spots, but my point is, I think 2024 is a weird outlier, and I'm not willing to throw it out. But I just don't think he's ever going to really approach that mark again from a WAR perspective. Okay. And when I factor that in, okay, we're looking at a corner outfielder who's probably going to have an OPS plus between 110 and 125.
Yes.
Would you rather just have Isaac Paredes, who's going to have similar offensive production, and you don't have to give up 2 other promising pieces as well? I don't know.
Yeah. Peyton
Peter,
took
where's
the
your
words
issue?
right out of my mouth. I'm just going to say it simpler. Like, what type of crack were you smoking before you came up with this trade? It's insane. You know what? It's the worst take I've heard from you in a while. I'll be honest with you. It's the worst take.
I disagree.
You're a Paredes guy. What are you doing?
I'm a Paredes guy.
And DeCenzo on top of it?
How valuable do you think Zach DeCenzo is?
He's a warm body.
Zach DeCenzo is a warm body that is effectively a short platoon fourth outfielder and can fill in at third base or first base at a pitch. There's no space for him on the Houston Astros. I'm not going to say that there's no space for Isaac Paredes on the Houston Astros, but they clearly haven't prioritized his playing time. I understand they went and got Correa when Paredes was hurt. He was dealing with the hamstring thing. But they're on the hook for Correa at this point. And there will be more Correa jerseys in Daikin Park this year than everybody not named Jose Altuve and maybe Yordan Alvarez.
No, but
they
here's the point is
Correa.
The point is it's not that Paredes could be available. It's that in this specific deal, Paredes and Duran, their values are not so different.
And this is where I disagree with you.
One side is getting a pitcher with years of control and a warm body on top of it.
This is where I disagree with you. And Peyton, I totally understand your point that Jarren Duran's not going to get back to being a 7-win player. But did he not come back to earth in 2025? Yes or no?
He did. And he had a very good season. Yes.
There were some flaws. No, he came back to earth and there were some flaws that you guys saw, right?
Yes.
At
he had a very good season.
And it was a 110 WRC plus. At the end of the day, give me the WAR total.
At the end of the day, he had a 3.2 win season?
3.9. He was a 4-win player.
Sorry.
And he had some flaws. There were some shortcomings in Duran's game. He totally took a step back from 2024. And he was a 4-win player in the eyes of FanGraphs. Why can't Jarren Duran settle at a 4 to 4.5 win player? Isaac Paredes, in 2024, he was great. He was an all-star. That's when the Cubs acquired him. He was a 3.5 win player. Isaac Paredes in 100 games this year was great. He was a 2.5 win player. In 2023, Isaac Paredes' best year, he was a 4.2 win player. That was his best year, and we're 2 years removed from that at this point.
Okay, but one piece of context. One piece of context I just want to throw out. And I do understand what you're saying is
you need like 7 pieces of context for what he just said.
Paredes had a 2.5 WAR in 100 games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, and like, listen, and if you want to hold the injury stuff like against him, like I think like you can have that point. Like I think that's fair. But I do think from a 650 plate appearance standpoint, I don't think Duran is destroying him from a WAR perspective. Agreed. And listen, I know small sample, by the way, and I'm not saying he has insane upside. Blue ball's kind of nice.
Blue ball's very nice. Not kind of. He's very nice.
This is insane. Because Jack, you were going through WAR totals, and you just left out the fact that with Tampa in 2024, he was a 3-win player in 101 games, and then went to the Cubs and just stunk for a while in 52 games. It wasn't a great fit for the ballpark. He is going to be a 3.5 to 4-win player on the Astros next year, and Jarren Duran is likely going to be a 3.5 to 4-win player on the Red Sox next year. And Paredes is 3 years younger, and that team gets a pitcher and another outfielder.
Let's toss these in your internal trade machine. And this is where contract value and years of control matter, people. Isaac Paredes, do you know how much he's making this year?
No.
They're headed to arbitration at 9.5.
Okay.
He's got 2 years of control, this one being at 9.5. Jarren Duran has 3 years. Jarren Duran, I think, is a more valuable player in the eyes of WAR and in the eyes of the Houston Astros and Dana Brown than Isaac Paredes.
I agree.
In 26 and 27 and 28. Isaac Paredes is out of the picture after the 27 season. I think that Jarren Duran is a more valuable asset than Isaac Paredes. I don't think that it's running laps around it more valuable, but I think he's objectively more valuable. And Duran has 1 more year of control than Paredes does.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that saying there needs to be more coming from Houston to Boston. If you want to push back on DeCenzo, I'm in. But like it's going to be Paredes and more for Jarren Duran. And this is the Boston pivot from Bregman. Is it not? Like Bregman and Paredes are sort of kind of Spider-Man meme-ish where they love the short porch and left and the Crawford boxes and Fenway. Paredes can follow the Bregman transition from Houston to Boston.
Ironically speaking, if this trade went down, Paredes would mimic Bregman's last 3 spots as well, which is kind of funny because he's kind of Spider-Man meme Bregman. Yes. And I do agree with you. I do think that Duran is a more valuable piece, especially with the extra year of control, as you mentioned. My holdup is more, I think this is more of a, not necessarily a 1-for-1 with an extra piece, but more similar to that than 2 dudes, especially Blue Ball, who I think Houston could, have a great use for in 2026.
This is the crack smoking trade because I'm not even sure. You're telling me that Duran is the more valuable asset and you're even gaslighting Peyton into believing it. Like I'm not even.
I agree. No. Duran is the more valuable asset.
I don't know if I'm even there yet. I don't.
No, he's definitely the most valuable asset.
I'm thinking about him at 26 years old back in the Crawford boxes. Like I think he could be a 25 to 30 home run guy and be a 4-win player next year. Like I would not be surprised if Paredes outwars Duran next year.
Also, even though you could make the same argument that the Red Sox have a log jam in the outfield, like you could say that, but I think the infield log jam Houston has is kind of kills their leverage with trading Paredes in a way where I think, like, obviously I know Red Sox have a similar problem in the outfield, but Paredes literally doesn't have a spot to play. Jordan's clogging DH. Correa's playing third. Pena's one of the best short. I mean, he's not going to play shortstop. Yeah. I guess you could put him at second. But
and do the Altuve outfield thing again.
I agree.
I am not going to get bullied. I am not going to get bullied by the bots that Jack has planted in the chat right now, who's saying Duran is so much better than
I'm smoking something. Our comment section is telling you that you're smoking something.
He's better. I just don't think it's because I don't think you need 2 more prospects.
I don't even like Paredes. Look what you're making me do. I think he's like built for a ballpark. If you're telling me, no, I like the fit. I think he'd slap a bunch of homers off Fenway's Green Monster. Can we go over my trade? Because I don't think that we're going to come to a conclusion here. And then Podcast P can be the arbiter. The bots that you've put in the chat can be the arbiter.
Perfect. Okay.
All right.
That's fine. Give me your trade.
Wait, I don't know that comment, but that comment's kind of wrong. Like, we think it's a good move for the Red Sox. Like, like it's a great move for the.
It's an amazing.
Yeah. It's the opposite. I think, get rid of the log jam, and you kind of get a slightly worse player and a sick pitching prospect. That's awesome.
Look at the comments right now, Jack. Look how good AI's gotten. They can respond to "I'm not a bot." Look at it. Look at all these. Like, don't call me a bot.
Give me your trade, and we're gonna figure out a Duran for Paredes swap to make sense.
Okay, fine. Well, first of all, Marcelo Meyer is playing third. I thought. Now he's not.
He would play second.
He'd play second. What about we get a second baseman instead?
Who do you want?
Nico Horner.
Whoa.
Okay.
You're only wincing because I made fun of the Paredes.
No, I
that
think
never happened. You would like this fit.
I think a team is going to acquire Nico Horner to play shortstop. That's my gut reaction.
Maybe. But the Red Sox are in definite need of a second baseman. You got him for 1 year. And here's my trade. I think he's such a good fit for the Red Sox too. Bat to ball is insane. The defense is fantastic, and the Red Sox have struggled defensively. You add a bunch of speed on the base. He's a fan favorite in Chicago for a reason. He'd be an immediate fan favorite in Boston. And it would kind of be similar to what Bregman is. It's just that all-around great ball player that you're putting in the middle, and you're creating a really good defensive duo with Trevor Story and Nico Horner up the middle. And then you have Cedon Rafael in center, like no balls are getting past there. So I really like the fit for him. And I also think that you could get more than Nico Horner in exchange for Wilyer Abreu. Because when we talk about years of control, there's not a lot of people cheaper than Wilyer Abreu. And what do the Cubs also need? They could certainly use a right fielder who's great defensively. And then you can kind of platoon right? If Willier's not that great against lefties, maybe Seiya is and right. They can figure something out. But Cubs, here is your cheap right fielder with 4 years of control at 26 years old. So you tell Cubs fans, all right, hey guys, I'm sorry. We are saving a little bit of money here. We are. My name is Tom Ricketts. I love saving money. I love getting under the cap. But instead of trading Nico for prospects, here's your future right fielder. We just traded Owen Casey. We let Kyle Tucker go. This is our guy. And then the Red Sox, I don't think you're going to miss him that much because now your outfield is Duran, Roman Anthony, and Ceddanne Rafaela. I think those are the 3 best outfielders on the Red Sox. And going into next year, those are your 3 best players. The reason Wilyer Abreu is a better asset is because of how cheap he is and how many years of control. But who's better, Duran or Wilyer Abreu? I'm going Duran every time. So you keep a better team right now. And then you add Nico Hoerner to the fold. The thing is, Nico Hoerner, if I'm the Cubs, I want him eating every single cent of that deal. So I'm sending all $12 million over. And then you send in return Jonathan Long, right? We've talked about this big hitting first base prospect with the Cubs, but he's blocked. Where's he going to play? Because if Moises Ballesteros is the Cubs DH and Michael Busch is the first baseman, and you still have Seiya, I know he'll be a free agent eventually, but you pretty much have your DH first base position locked up for a long time. So where is he even going to play? It's going to sting a little bit if you're a Cubs fan because he rakes. But then on the Red Sox side, you potentially have your first baseman of the future. You can hedge the Tristan Casas issue and have Jonathan Long there, and kind of whoever works. And I think one of them will work. And now you have Nico Hoerner and Jonathan Long in exchange for Wilyer Abreu. And I think that team is better than they were previously.
Yeah, I think 1 year of Hoerner is not worth 4 of Wilyer Abreu.
Agreed.
That's why I understand that there's a prospect attached, but that prospect, like, there's a chance it just doesn't work. And at the end of the day, this is a first baseman that can only play first base. So I think that there would need to be more attached to it.
The Red Sox do need a first baseman, though, and this guy raked last year.
Do the Red Sox need a first baseman, though?
I don't think so.
After Contreras.
I mean, Contreras has 4 more years.
How many more years does he have?
Doesn't he have 2 or 3?
I know it's your first baseman in the future. This guy's still a prospect.
Oh yeah, I don't know, but I wouldn't necessarily label it as a need.
Yeah, it's not a need. I just think it's a good fit.
Yeah.
I think it's a good fit.
It's a good fit. Okay. So here's my ultimate pushback here. There, by the way, 2 years of Wilson Contreras. The ultimate pushback is
they
have Christian Campbell making $70 million.
You got to eat that. I mean, what? You just automatically play him?
You eat it after 1 year, after like a month and a half, 2 months of Major League Baseball. I don't think you can do that. So my thought is like,
here's the thing, though. You're poo-pooing the trade right now, but if Marcelo Meyer is playing second too, in your deal, Christian Campbell is not playing either.
Right, but there's at least a path because Paredes is 2 more years versus Hoerner, I guess, at 1.
More of a path. Because I'd rather bring in Nico on a 1-year deal over Brendan Donovan with multiple years of control.
Let's play this game. What do the Red Sox need more of? Do they need surefire defense at second base? And Hoerner is a good hitter, but Hoerner and Paredes are very, very different hitters. Oh, yeah. Right? Hoerner in a perfect world is probably hitting, 6th for the Red Sox?
Sure. Hoerner's a better player, though, than Paredes, and I think Willier's production next year is also worse than Duran's.
Dependent on need. I also think keeping 4 years, the Red Sox are obviously, and Aram has talked about this, a very model-driven organization. The Red Sox, would they prefer 4 years of Wilyer Abreu or 2 or 3 years of Jarren Duran at the price point that Duran's at already?
Rephrase the question?
Would the Red Sox prefer to retain Wilyer Abreu or Jarren Duran?
I think based on the money, Wilyer is cheaper, but Duran will be more valuable over the 3 years that he has left to the Red Sox.
This is an interesting comment, too. If these were swapped where it's Duran going to the Cubs and Wilyer going to the Astros, then both packages would be more even.
Yeah, I guess just Duran doesn't play much
Perhaps.
right, and I like the fit because also Duran is owed $9.5 million, so it's not really helping the Cubs issue. Where the reason they're trading Horner is to shed salary. So if they bring back $9 million, you're not really doing that. Where with Abreu, it's only a couple $1 million, right? It's much cheaper. So that's why Abreu, when you're evaluating assets, you also got to think of the stupid money and the stupid years of control and all this versus just looking at who's the better player. And Wilyer answers that question for Chicago, where they want to shed salary and get a guy with more years of control who's also younger. So that's why Duran to the Cubs doesn't make a lot of sense, even though it makes the Cubs better. But for how the Cubs are operating right now, it doesn't make a ton of sense. I mean, Peyton, after hearing all this, what do you think? Well, I mean, I guess it's an easy answer because Jack's trade to the Red Sox makes the Red Sox way better because they're getting a haul. But more realistic, I think, for both sides is mine, and I think mine's way smarter and better and cooler.
I love that we have Peyton here as a third party because something that Peter does on the Playing GM shows is he refuses to say no to his trades.
No, I'm not. I am asking the arbiter, what do you think?
This is good because previously you have refused to say no, and it's like, we're going to make mine work, hell or high water.
Never.
And this is good that Peyton's decided.
I've never done that ever.
I really don't know, especially since it's 1 year for Horner. That's kind of I think the Red Sox need to do everything in anything they can to prevent playing Ceddanne Rafaela at second base. I think nothing makes me more furious than watching him play infield, just because I've said this a gajillion times. It's like having prime Darrelle Revis and being like, he should play outside linebacker. Right. Like it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And obviously Horner would be the most extreme version of that. But I don't know. I don't know if you want to give up 4 years, like 4 years of Wilyer. I don't know.
So let's workshop Paredes.
So you'd rather give up 3 years of Duran instead of 4 years of Wilyer because you think that.
Well, you're getting several years of Paredes.
Yeah, you're getting several years of Paredes, but I was also thinking about the potential. You paid Christian Campbell $70 million.
That's rough.
You're basically with that not using him at all. With Horner, you give Campbell 1 year in the minors, and then you're hopefully starting him in 2027 as your opening day second baseman.
Well, the thing is too, at least with Campbell, is that if you do trade if you do trade Duran or Wilyer, you are opening up some outfield spots for him. Yes. You're also he can also kind of, the problem with Campbell is simple. He's a utility guy who has no utility. Like he's an insane athlete who you hope can figure out a position, but he really doesn't have one. It's kind of rough defensively, but I guess they'll just hide him somewhere, maybe in a corner, maybe, second occasionally. They tried him out at first. I don't know if they're going to still harp on that. I guess they could DH him a bit. I think if Campbell's figuring it out offensively, I think they'll just find a place to throw him in and just deal with the consequences.
Yes. All right. The bots, the hive mind, have sure.
I prefer.
There's just no way in hell the Astros accept that trade. There's just, yes, the Houston. Astros. I would rather have Blue Ball, Paredes, and DeCenzo over Duran.
Okay, so I'm totally cool taking DeCenzo out.
Yeah, I think that makes I don't know what it is.
Out. You take Blue Ball out.
No,
I think it's Brady's in a filler. I really don't.
Duran is a noticeably better asset than Isaac Paredes.
I don't think so.
And Blue Ball's a swingman. He was a nasty swingman, but he's a swingman right now.
Well, he could be more.
Yeah, but he's not factored into their rotation. They felt the need to trade for Mike Burrows.
Well, Mike Burrows is a better pitcher than Blue Ball.
Okay, so Blue Ball's your 6 or 7 right now. So let's go, give him to the Boston.
You're coming up with crap trades. You're aura farming. This is a disaster.
Duran to Houston for Paredes and Blue Ball. We have to get moving.
Sure. Send it in. Thanks for nothing, Peyton. Thanks for nothing. My trade was definitely better.
Do you have anything else?
Hive mind bots.
Do you have anything else for the Red Sox or no?
What'd you say?
Do you have anything else for the Red Sox or no?
Yeah, give them Justin Wilson on a 1-year, $3 million deal. They need a left-handed reliever. Chapman's like their only guy I would like an actual guy who you bring in specifically against lefties, and he really worked there last year. There's no reason not to bring him back in. And Pierce Johnson officially signed with the Reds. Can't give him away. Let's go with Evan Phillips. More upside. Could be a high leverage reliever. 1 year, $4 million.
Okay. Phillips is coming back from an elbow surgery, so let's give him 2.
Sure.
2 years. Let's call it $7 million.
Danny Coulomb too, but again, this person's bringing that up. I think Coulomb's going to be a little bit more expensive than Wilson, and if Wilson already fit, let's just bring him back.
Okay. One for let's go $4 million for Justin Wilson.
Sure.
All right. So 1 year, $4 million for Justin Wilson. 2 years, $7 million for Evan Phillips. Let's go 2 for $50 for Zach Gallen, and then Duran to Houston for Paredes and Blueball. Cool.
Yeah, and then also put on the graphic DFA Christian Campbell because he's never playing on this team again apparently with this trade.
Got it. Okay.
Right? I mean, I'm not wrong. Like that.
God, I love Peyton Genius. Am
I not wrong though? Where is Christian Campbell playing in this hypothetical? Because now Paredes is the third baseman.
Figure it out, man. There's outfield reps here. He can be the short platoon guy for Willier, and he can also play some second base. Like there are options.
All right.
Plenty of options.
All right.
So, all right. We're going to keep on moving. Rays next. Let's talk Tampa. The Tampa Bay Rays, their 2025 tax payroll was $103.4 million. It was 28th in baseball. Their estimated in 2026 was $105.9 million. That is 29th in baseball. So they have dropped by the team rankings, but they have upped their payroll number by about $2 million. Their transaction list is a lengthy one. They have acquired Luis Guerrero from Boston for Tristan Gray. They have acquired Yoendris Gomez and Steven Wilson from the White Sox for Everson Pereira and Tanner Murray. They have acquired Tommy McCollum from Philly for Yoniel Curet. They have purchased Justin Henry Malloy from Detroit. Free agent signings, they have signed Cedric Mullins to a 1-year, $7 million deal, Jake Fraley to a 1 for $3 million deal, Steven Matz for a 2 for $15 million deal. And then the big trades, they sent Shane Baz to Baltimore for Slater DeBrun, Caden Bodine, Michael Ferret, Austin Overn, and a Comp A pick, 33rd overall. Also in a 3-team deal, they ended up giving up Brandon Lau, Jake Mangum, and Mason Montgomery. In turn, they got Jacob Melton and Anderson Brito, 2 prospects from the Houston Astros. And earlier today, they purchased Ken Waldichuk and Brett Wisely from the Atlanta Braves. It has been very, very busy. I feel like there's not much left to do for Tampa, to be honest.
There isn't much left to do. I would like to get them a catcher, because if I have to see a Hunter Fiducia, Nick Fortes platoon next year, I'm going to lose it. And the worst part about that is it might work. Like the Rays. Well, just because I feel like they've wanted Hunter Fiducia for a while now. Doesn't it feel like that? Like he's their guy, even though he hasn't done anything. But I feel like they've been asking about him. I would like to go get a catcher. I would like to get a pitcher who can just eat some damn innings. Doesn't even have to be great. I mean, look at this rotation right now. If I gave you over a half players to record 125 innings next year for the Rays, would you take the over? You could say, well, Pepio's going to do it. Maybe that's how you hit the over. But it's still nerve-wracking because McClanahan, you hope he can return and throw back.
Yeah, but he doesn't go 0 to 150.
Exactly. And Rasmussen has never proven that he can do that. And he's 30 years old now, going to be 31. Matz is not that guy anymore. And Joe Boyle, like, you hope. It would be a miracle if he did. Maybe not a miracle. That's too much. But again, I need a guy who I can feel confident about eating innings. And there are options on the free agency side. And then what else did I have? I also thought about just bringing in a pitcher like an Austin Gomber or a Herman Marquez, just like, what are the new Rays plans for a guy who's been terrible and they can fix him somehow, just like it costs like $1 million or something.
You could. I don't think they need to be totally honest with you, Peyton. If you wouldn't mind flashing that starter depth again, like, I think I would just rather run with some assortment of Boyle, Rock, Seymour, Brody Hopkins, Ty Johnson when they're ready. Hopkins may not be ready this year. Ty Johnson is a meteor through the system, or a rocket ship through the system. Wrong astronomy thing, but rocket ship through the system right now. I feel like they can piece the 5 spot together. And Matz, they signed to be a starting pitcher. Pepio is a tried and true frontline starter. Rasmussen threw like a frontline starter. He will not have an innings limit anymore. So I'm honestly cool with the rotation as is.
Yeah. So my one trade is I'm doing Junior Caminero and Shane McClanahan for Jarren Duran.
Yeah,
because I think that's fair.
What about Isaac Paredes? Yeah, you think that's good?
No, let's focus back in. No more jokes. Maybe one more yet. But for the next 5 minutes.
Two. Yeah, I have 2 like internal, just let them play things. The catching thing, I don't think we need to trade for someone. You can if you want. My catching thought is like, just have Dom Keegan on the opening day roster. You see what you have in Dominic Keegan.
I think that's fine. I mean, you could bring in a Victor Caratini. Obviously, the obvious answer is JT Realmuto, right? He's right out there. I think the Phillies are going to figure something out and bring him back. So I'm not even really entertaining that. If they do want to go big game hunting, they can call up Colorado and say, what'll it take for Hunter Goodman? It might cost a lot. And also, you know what's funny? Hunter Goodman put up a 3.4 F4 last year, Jack. Do you know what Hunter Goodman's career F4 is?
Is it lower than that?
1.8.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm Colorado, I am entertaining it. I know Rockies fans just cringed when they heard that. But at the same time, if you don't think you're going to compete in the next 3 years, and you think there's a chance that Goodman is not the 30 home run guy that he was, now could be the time to trade him. But I kind of agree with you. I was trying to figure out a lot of options, but Dom Keegan just starting opening day might just be the answer.
And I like the idea of a Caratini. Fortes and Fiducia, like, are they they're neither of them are everyday big leaguers, but are they even like backup catchers? Fortes probably, Fiducia maybe. So I don't know. Keegan, do you want to sign Caratini to a 1-year deal?
Like, kind of. The thing is with Caratini is that he doesn't play much defense, and you're almost bringing in Caratini to more be a bat. And at DH right now, that's not a position of need for the Rays.
No. Yeah, so let's just go Dominic Keegan opening day roster at the catching position.
Awesome.
The other one, I think Carson Williams should get run. Like,
absolutely.
I don't know if they're contending this year. This roster does not scream contention, and they just got out of the Brandon Lau thing. Now, the Rays always scream contention, but I
kind of like it. I do.
I can't do another year of watching Taylor Walls play short every day for the Rays. I just want to see what the prospect can do. Carson Williams, I know he struggled a bit last year at the end of the year, but he was good in Durham, and this guy is 22 years old. I think give Carson Williams a couple of months, opening day runway.
I kind of want to also sign IKF.
I was thinking that too.
I like IKF better than Taylor Walls. And, this is kind of a good idea. Get Rushing off of LA's hands. It's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
But the thing is that he's too good of a catcher for the Rays. It's too good of an idea, Daniel. It is too good of an idea because the Rays, they thrive on having the worst catching situation you've ever seen and being okay. So I don't think that team is now going to change their philosophy and be like, now we're going to give up a haul for Dalton Rushing. Because it would be a haul. I mean, that's an incredible asset that the Dodgers have, albeit he is blocked, but that doesn't matter. He's still a great asset.
Yeah.
I love the idea, and I would love to workshop it. But knowing the Rays, I just don't see it.
Yeah. No, they just won't do it, unfortunately. And it seems like the Dodgers are not pressed to move a Rushing.
No, they're not.
It's cool. All right. Dom Keegan, Carson Williams, opening day roster. That's what we have right now. What else you got for me?
Just everything it does. Can we bring in IKF?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess I also
think IKF he presents some versatility.
Yeah, so because Richie Palacios is their second baseman, and he had a good stint last year, but he's not beacon of consistency. So I'd like to bring in someone who can play both. I mean, they have it in Taylor Walls, I guess. Because if you're just given...
But like Walls is a good backup shortstop or third middle infielder. So like, let's bring in IKF 1 year, 4.
Sure.
Okay.
Look at us.
This is agreement. Another interesting one that I had, they have an outfield surplus. Like they've got a lot of guys that can just play outfield for them.
Yeah.
They signed Mullins. They signed Fraley. You also have Valade hanging out. Richie Palacios is effectively an outfielder. Josh Lowe is an everyday outfielder. Melton is added to the 40-man after the trade. I want to move Johnny DeLuca because I think there's some value here.
Can't move Johnny DeLuca. We need a right-handed outfielder. There's too many lefties in this outfield right now. DeLuca can't be moved.
Okay.
Don't you agree, though? Like, when you're looking at so many lefties, like, they need a right-handed bat.
Yeah, I mean, you got Malloy and you have Valade, and I thought DeLuca was the one that actually had value.
I know DeLuca's the best of the bunch. I think you got to keep him. I really do.
Let me pitch you on this. Instead of a possible IKF signing, I think Cleveland could really use a right-handed hitting outfielder and a guy that can fill in center for DeLauder. DeLuca to Cleveland, along with a prospect, Cooper Kinney, for Juan Brito. Brito is a guy that has been really good in AAA for the last 2 years, but Travis Bazzana is better than him.
Yes.
He's not going to play second base for the Cleveland Guardians. He's kind of a sitting duck there. He's a switch hitter that can hit the ball for some power. It's a very hitter-friendly ballpark in Columbus, but it's doable, and he's got very good plate discipline. This feels like the kind of guy that Tampa likes.
Does it have to be DeLuca? I want to keep this right-handed bat, and they traded for him. They clearly want to play him. They just haven't really had room for him, and now they do.
It doesn't have to be DeLuca.
Swap the outfielder to get Brito. Is that possible?
Not really, because Lowe's a non-starter. Would you do... I bet you could do like a Colton Ledbetter.
Okay.
Or a Braylor Guerrero.
We might just have to scrap this trade. But I like the thought process. I just don't want to trade a right-handed outfielder. Like on justbaseball.com, there's so many great articles about what each team needs to do this offseason. And at the top of the list on the article is get a right-handed outfielder for Tampa. Like, go get one, an additional one. I don't think we can give up our only one that has value.
I mean, yeah, if you're not considering Malloy or Valade serviceable enough.
And I don't think we are, right?
2 guys that I love as people. Yeah, let's go IKF instead of the Brito thing.
Yeah.
The other one, like, just a couple shots here to take. Kranick is going to miss opening day, but he should be back all-star breakage. I looked at Max Kranick and Eli Morgan, like 2 really good fastballs, and it's just sign them to minor league free agent deals.
I wrote down Kranick, so we got to sign down.
Did
Kranick.
you actually?
Yeah, I wrote down. I was like, I just wrote down guys I want to take shots on, and Kranick, he's such a ray. Such a ray.
And I think Eli Morgan is a ray too. Like that 4-seamer was good for a minute in Cleveland. So can he recapture it? He was not that good with the Cubs. I'll go Kranick and Morgan on minor league deals.
Can we save a little bit of money? Is Morgan a minor league deal guy?
I think so.
I thought he was a major league deal guy.
I don't know.
While you look that up, can we spend some money?
We just spent 4 on IKF.
Can we spend a little bit more? This is a multi-year deal. Bring back Zach Littell. It's not sexy, but it's hard to find a guy who goes pitches in a minor league ballpark, George Steinbrenner Field, and puts up at a lower ERA at home than he did on the road. I think those guys, to find a guy who can give you 180 innings at a high 3s, few and far between, and have pitched in a minor league ballpark. Again, it's not sexy. You had him last year, but it makes me feel so much better about the rotation because you have a lot of firecrackers. We got to bring in someone who we got to bring in a bucket of water in case they light a building on fire. And that's what Littell is.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, so you're content optioning Boyle?
Not optioning. I think you're going to need all these guys. I would rather have Matz in the bullpen as like this swingman type and have Boyle as my 5.
They don't pay relievers 7.5.
They do if they're making spot starts and throwing in the bullpen in high leverage.
Sure. Uh,
I'm not optioning Boyle. And maybe Boyle then is the swingman reliever type. You can make you're kicking out one of them.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, Littell. You think he gets a 2-year deal?
I do. I think he's a pretty good pitcher.
Eli Morgan, absolutely a minor league free agent deal.
Okay. That's fine. Bring him in 2 then.
Littell 2 for what, 20?
Yep. No. More.
2 for 28?
Like 30.
Let's go 28. 28.
180 innings at less than a 4 ERA last year.
28 feels better than 30.
Okay.
Let's do that. All right. So our transactions are done for them. Dom Keegan, Carson Williams on the opening day roster. IKF 1 year, $4 million deal. Kranick and Eli Morgan on minor league deals. And Littell 2 for 28.
Cool. And I'm sorry, Rays fans. This isn't like super, super exciting. It's just like, what do you want us to do? We have to operate within what the Rays likely do. And we don't mean to quote unquote gloss over you. We would love to spend more time operating through everything, but it's a most likely scenario. And it makes you better next year. I mean, they're better next year than they were the year before with these moves.
No doubt. All right. We're going to get to the Brewers to wrap in a moment. The Milwaukee Brewers are another team where it really doesn't feel like we're set to do much for. Their 25 tax payroll, 22nd in baseball at $144 million. Their 26 estimate is $156 million. That's 19th in baseball. Not many transactions. They didn't need to make too many. They won the NL Central. Most of their team retained. Brandon Woodruff accepted the qualifying offer at $22 million. They signed Akil Baddoo for a $1.25 million deal. The big trade for them, they acquire Angel Serpa for Isaac Collins, who got Rookie of the Year votes, and Nick Mears. That's all they've done at this point. And you look at this team, and for the most part, it's the same team that won 1 billion games last year.
They're great. They don't really need to do anything. I mean,
do you actually believe? I think I kind of believe that.
I genuinely believe if they don't make a singular move, they could win the division.
Do you want to trade? I'm with you. Do you want to trade Freddie for the sake of trading Freddie? But our goal right now is to make the Brewers best for 2026. I think we just hold on to him.
So I don't want to trade Freddie. I mean, you could say if we are operating in the minds of the Brewers front office, and we say we want more sustainable pitching depth, you could make that trade with the Yankees where you're getting LeGrand and Heel. There's a couple other moves like the Red Sox move where you're getting Sandlin and Tolley. The Mets move where you're getting Sproat. That one had Jacob Reimer in it, so that's more of an infielder. So that's not exactly doing what I think the Brewers would want in the Freddie Peralta deal. You could do that, but Freddie Peralta is really freaking good, and you have him at the top of your rotation next year. So I'm in. I'll hear you out. I'm signing Lamont Wade and calling it an offseason.
Interesting. So the two that I liked most were the Red Sox and the Met deals. So the Met deal was Brandon Sproat and Jacob Reimer for Freddie Peralta. I like this because Sproat is an immediate plug and play in your 4 spot in the rotation, and everybody else moves up a rung on the ladder, and you get Reimer, who's a power bat in the minor leagues. The other one was the Red Sox deal, which was Tolley and David Sandlin. That one also jumped out to me.
Why does the Yankee one not jump out to you, Jack? Any particular reason why you're doing that thing again where you hate everything Yankees and
because you're trying to force feed the Yanks on.
I'm not trying to force feed. I'm not trying to force feed. That is a good trade. You know, in the comment section,
it is a good trade.
You know what the most common comment was? Why is the Yankees package so much bigger than everybody else's?
I love that. That's good. I think we hold on to Freddie Peralta for the sake of this exercise.
I mean, it would be fun. It would do well on clicks. But if we're actually trying to make the Brewers better, trading Freddie Peralta only helps this front office who doesn't want to spend. It doesn't make the Brewers better next year.
Yeah. So, all right, we're holding on to Freddie Peralta. I've got a fun one here. 1-for-1 trade. Yeah.
Okay, no, go ahead. I was saying I don't want to do anything. Like, I love this team.
But I've got a fun one. 1-for-1 trade. What do they have a surplus of? Left-handed relievers. Jared Koenig to Toronto, who could use another left-handed reliever. Their high-leverage lefty right now is Brendan Little or Mason Fluharty. They have a surplus of infielders at this point. Davis Schneider fills a lot of roles for them, and he replaces Andrew Monasterio, and that becomes their best bench bat. Like, they were running out Monasterio or Anthony Siegler in big moments. They were getting big-time plate appearances. Wouldn't you much rather have Davis Schneider taking those plate appearances?
Yes, but is the jump from a Monasterio or a Siegler to a Schneider worth giving up Jared Koenig, who's a really solid left-handed reliever?
I think it is. And my answer is you already have Aaron Ashby, who was better than Koenig last year, and you have DL Hall.
They have guys who they can supplement in. No, I agree with you. I just, because Schneider also, so you want him as an infielder, not an outfielder.
I want him as everything. I want him as a utility guy because I look at this outfield and Bowers hits from the left side. Frelick hits from the left side. Mitchell hits from the left side. If Yelich plays the outfield at all, he hits from the left side. He is a right-handed hitting outfielder that also can fill in on the dirt. I was immediately thinking like, oh, Austin Hayes would be a nice fit as a short platoon guy for Garrett Mitchell in left, or Bowers in left, or like, oh, Miguel Andujar could be a good fit here. I just thought, you've got too many left-handed relievers already. Why not trade a good one, but not your best one, for somebody that can do literally everything and will play 110 games for you?
Yeah, and Schneider can rake too. I don't mind that deal. I think it does make the bench a little bit better. I think as I look at the bench and I'm like, it's still pretty good. Like, Monasterio isn't that bad. Like, I'd rather have Schneider, but not by much. I'm okay making the deal.
Yeah,
we gotta do something. I mean, you can't just sign Lamont Wade and let people. Hey, see you, Brewers fans, who signed Lamont Wade. But also, I want to be serious about Lamont Wade. I think that's another one of these guys similar to Andrew Vaughn that the Brewers can pull in and get some power out of him. And who knows, maybe even make a little platoon there at first base because they're likely losing Rhys Hoskins. Who else over there at first? Just Rhys Hoskins, right? Because they still have Jake Bowers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd like to bring in, because you kind of already brought in just a better Rhys Hoskins now with Andrew Vaughn. Let's bring in the lefty platoon guy.
Yeah, and he was brutal last year. You think minor league deal?
Brutal. It has to be a minor league deal, and then just get him in the Brewers farm, get him in the system, get him going.
Lamont Wade minor league deal. Honestly, I think we're done.
It stinks, but I agree. And again, we're not just going to make random moves to make random moves. The Brewers might do absolutely nothing for the rest of the offseason and be totally fine.
Yeah.
They don't need to. Look at the team. Peyton, do you have the graphics of just their team? What do we do? Do we upgrade at shortstop? Doing what? I still want to give Joey Ortiz a little bit more run. I'm not done with him.
Ortiz gets another year. And like, I was thinking, okay, we could use a backup shortstop. Terang's your backup shortstop.
Yeah. And then you have you have your outfield, you have your DH, you have your whole pitching staff, and you have your whole bullpen, and you have a great system. You don't need to do anything. Man.
All right. Our two moves, we're holding on to Freddie Peralta. I will make that a part of the graphic.
We need it.
Yeah, Freddie keep. So we keep Freddie Peralta, Davis Schneider for Jared Koenig, and then Lamont Wade on a minor league deal.
And we could fill up two more graphics. Just say keep Yelich.
Yeah, keep Yelich and keep Mizorowski.
Keep Choreo. Or keep Choreo.
Perfect. Take us out, man.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Just Baseball Show. And the best way to support the Just Baseball Show, if you're listening on YouTube, is to like, comment, and subscribe. You're listening on audio, rate and review 5 stars. Go get yourself some Just Baseball merch. And if you want to join the best baseball group chat in the world, you can find both the merch link and the Discord link in the episode description. Thank you, Podcast P. Thank you, everybody, for listening. For Jack McWillen, I am Peter Apple. With that, thank you, everybody.